The power grid is something Texans have started keeping a very close eye on since the 2021 winter storm. And now the U.S. Energy Information Administration is surveying cryptocurrency mining companies to find out their impact on electricity stability nationwide. Right now, miners use 2% of the state's power. The president of the group that represents most of the mining companies in Texas tells KVUE's Darren Shaharan the industry feels targeted.
The cryptocurrency mining industry in Texas has expanded quickly over the last few years. A big criticism is the amount of energy the data centers could be consuming. And now the U.S. Energy Information Administration, or EIA, is performing an emergency survey to get answers.
So we're just trying to get a handle on this sector's use of electricity, how much, where it's occurring, how might it affect the electric grid in the United States, and particularly in different regions of the country.
Mark Morey, a senior advisor with EIA, says prior to getting approval by the Office of Management and Budget to conduct the survey, they did some research and found there are at least 137 mining facilities in the U.S., with most in Georgia, New York, and Texas, which has over 30. The data shows in 2023, all crypto mining facilities combined had the same energy usage as states like Utah or West Virginia. And that's on the low end.
Yeah, this is quite strange. The EIA does collect data, but they've never done it in this way. They've never been so specific, and they've also never targeted an industry so specifically.
Lee Bratcher, the president of the Texas Blockchain Council, which represents a good chunk of mining companies in Texas, says the survey is too invasive and feels politically motivated.
Concerned that they could put pressure on some of these big energy companies to no longer have energy contracts with Bitcoin mining data centers. And it really makes no sense given that the reason for the survey was grid stability, and AI data centers and cloud computing data centers were not included, which use far more energy and are far less flexible.
When Bratcher says flexible, he's talking about mining operators' ability to quickly turn off during tight grid conditions to help lower demand and keep the grid from failing, something they had to do just last month during the cold snap.
We are exploring our legal options as to how to push back against this federal overreach.
We're hopeful we can work with companies in the cryptocurrency industry so we can provide the public with a clear understanding of the energy use from this sector, much in the same way we do with all the other industries.
Lee Bratcher says the Blockchain Council and ERCOT have been transparent about their energy usage and would not mind more regulation coming from the Texas legislature. The feds say they do dozens of surveys of the electricity market, and this one is no different. They plan to continue this survey until July.